All right, so here I am again, Steve, at Steve's Vintage Model Builds. I updated the name a little bit. I felt vintage was appropriate because these are most of the kits that I build, and I'm vintage too. So, anyways, same channel, same stuff, uh, same problems with the audio. I'm sorry. Uh, I really don't know what else to do about it. As near as I can figure, the issue is with how um, YouTube compresses and plays back the audio. When I play it back, doesn't matter if it's Windows Media Player or the VLC Media Player, the sound and audio is perfect. So I don't know, I don't understand why it's all muffled. It doesn't seem to matter if it's short, long, whether I'm using the VPN or not using the VPN. I went back to my earlier videos under Steve's Model Railroad build, and those are fine. So something changed, but not at my end. And again, I really apologize. I want nothing but the best experience for people who come and spend time on my channel. I'm not ashamed to say I'm a very well-spoken person, and except for the ums and ahs, you'll find that the closed captioning is extremely accurate. So, next, a bit of bad news. I started the Tamiya 148 scale Spitfire Mark 1, and boy, I'll tell you, that cockpit is just brutal. Uh, I wouldn't mind so much. I wouldn't mind so much, except that most of it is hidden by the time you put the thing together. And today I was working on it, and I cut off a piece and I dropped it. I don't know where it bounced to. I can't find it. I've looked all over the floor, and it's the piece that attaches the cockpit bathtub to the control panel assembly. In other words, I can't build the model without it. So, it's either a piece of junk, or I'll have to talk to my buddy Matt, see if he can scare up a part for me. Hardly worth it to contact Tamiya, but I might have to do that in order to continue to build. Otherwise, it's 60 bucks, 50, 60 bucks down the drain, plus quite a few hours of work already. So, anyways, it is what it is. So, I really wasn't in the mood to tackle another Tamiya kit after that. I've got two others. I've got the Corsair and the P51 Mustang. They're much simpler, much simpler cockpit layout. Um, so I make no bones about it. I'm no great expert. There's guys out there, and girls too, I'm sure, who just love the challenge of the tiny, most intricate of parts. And they've got metal etched parts for the straps for the pilot's feet. But once the cockpit bathtub goes in there, even with the open canopy, you can't see it. So, and working with the crazy group glue is just, eh. Anyways, so like I say, I make no bones about the fact that I'm no great expert. I have some skills. I have a fair bit of knowledge about how to build models, and I hope that junior and maybe even some intermediate model makers enjoy it. As my friend Peter Oxley always says, it doesn't matter. A lot of people get discouraged about building models because they watch the videos, and some of these people, they build them for a living. I mean, they make a living off of it, building models for other people, and or at least substantially supplement their income. And as well, the model making companies themselves, they send out prototypes and pre-production models for building and evaluation, and they get paid for that too, of course. That's not me. I'm just a regular guy. So viewers will know, and subscribers will know I'm a really huge fan of Tamiya, but the Spitfire kit, it looks great just looking at it, but to me, and not just to me, others have also commented that the cockpit assembly is far too complex, and the instructions aren't that great either. There's some confusing bits. The other thing is it makes you jump around between the sprues, which makes it a little difficult because they don't provide a screw map or a sprue map either. So you're always jumping from this sprue to that sprue to da 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 da. So I'm hoping the other Tamiya kits. I went through them. They look much better. So yeah, I'm gonna have to change my evaluation a bit on that kit. In any case, still in love with Tamiya, and don't worry, honey, I'm not going to abandon you. Alright, so today I decided to get right away and back to the 172 again. We've seen this kit before, the Nakajima B5N Kate, torpedo bomber, or dive bomber, depending on what it was armed with, Type 97 carrier attack. Flew off of aircraft carriers as well as off of the ground. And we first saw this kit in my bargain bin kit video, where I displayed 4 videos from the bargain bin. This was one of them, $9.99 from the bargain bin. And this kit, new box, new parts, 1976. All right. So I did have one viewer, a Russian fellow, who was a little disappointed in that video, in that I think he was expecting kit reviews, but all I did was I didn't review the kits. I just opened them up to show what was inside for the ones that weren't sealed. However, this one is sealed in plastic and has been entombed as such since 1976. So I'm really interested to see what's on inside. Before that, though, as always, everyone's favorite part, the history. So everybody's heard of Mitsubishi and the Mitsubishi Zero, and everybody's heard of the Kate. A lot of people have heard of the Kate, anybody who knows. But Nakajima isn't exactly a household word. So a bit of history on the company. The Nakajima Aircraft Company was Japan's first aircraft manufacturer. It was founded in 1918 by Chikuhei Nakajima, a naval engineer, and Seibei Kawanishi. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Kawanishi, I think that's how it's pronounced. Who was a textile manufacturer. It was initially called Nihon Hikoki, which meant Nippon aircraft. Nippon is the Japanese word for Japan. And it didn't last very long. The partnership didn't last very long. They split in 1919, and Nakajima bought out the factory with help from the Japanese Imperial Army. And then the company was renamed Nakajima Aircraft Company in 1919. They were the second largest aircraft manufacturer going into World War II, behind Mitsubishi. And so that's why you see a lot of their aircraft. After Japan's defeat in World War II, Nakajima was forced to close, as the production and research of aircraft was prohibited by the occupying Allied powers. While Mitsubishi Heavy Industries had diversified into shipping, heavy machinery, and eventually automobiles, Nakajima had stuck with aircraft, and so as a result, the company was basically disbanded. And it was spun off into a number of different companies, set up by former managers, engineers, and workers. As a result, though, leading aeronautical engineers from the company helped transform Japan's automobile industry. So they switched from aircraft to automobiles. The company was subsequently reborn as Fuji Heavy Industries, and they made the Fuji Rabbit scooters and Subaru automobiles. As Fuji Precision Industries, later renamed Prince Motor Company, it merged with Nissan in August 1966. And it's since been spun off and is now, the Subaru company stands alone with about a 20% ownership by Nissan, and Subarus use mostly Nissan parts. The final rebrand was in 2017 as Subaru Corporation. Alright, so here we go. It's I'm not sure I want to crack this, but I'm gonna. So we'll get started here. There we go. Alright, sweetie, here you are. Full light of day outside of the plastic after all these years. Nice box art, beautiful colors. And so, move this over. Not much exciting. We've got the side profile. Here, same as the front. Same on the other side. And just plain cardboard bottom. Alright, and so, oh, and I should mention, this kit was made by a company called Mania. And they were subsequently absorbed or bought out by Hasegawa Corporation. So I wasn't able to find out much information on Mania at all, other than the fact that they existed. And this was the only kit I could find that they made, but I'm sure they made other ones. Alright, so I'll read what's on the side here. It's fairly extensive. In 1935, the Japanese Imperial Navy, that had been researchers of modernization of aircraft, ordered a monowing carrier attack bomber from Nakajima and Mitsubishi aircraft manufacturing companies. Nakajima devoted their young, excellent brains to the development of the ordered carrier attack bomber, and finally built up its first model late in December 1936. It had the ultra-advanced machine designs at that date in the world, and in November 1937 it was formally adopted by the Japanese Navy as the Type 97 carrier attack bomber B5N1. I'm reading this right off the box, so this was Japanese people who wrote this. The first mass production of this type was started in April 1938, and its first 20 bombers took off from Kaohsiung, Taiwan, to attend the landing operations of the Japanese troops to China in August 1938. It should be noted as well, at the time, Taiwan was actually a Japanese controlled territory, and so still today there's stuff going on between Taiwan and China. Taiwan didn't want to be part of Japan, they don't want to be part of China. So anyways, I'm not going to go any further into the politics of that. In December 1939, its engine was modernized from the Nakajima Hikari 3 type, which was a 9-cylinder air-cooled radial engine, to the Nakajima Sakai 11 type, which was a 14-cylinder air-cooled 2-bank radial 910 horsepower engine. This became the B5N2, the main force of the then Japanese Navy. Its first activity was at the Pearl Harbor attack on December 8th, that's the Japanese date, 1941, where 40 air torpedo carriers shot 800 kilogram torpedoes and 103 level bombers dropped 800 kilogram bombs onto the U.S. Pacific Fleet at Pearl Harbor. This surprised and impressed people in the world very greatly. Later on, however, the main force of the Japanese Navy was lost heavily at the Midway Sea Battle, with many young flyers, and after all, it was gradually superseded by next new attackers, the Tenzan, or Jill, after its activities at the Bougainville Sea Battle in November 1943. It was later on used as a night torpedo shooter and kamikaze fighter at the last stage of the war. This type was produced 669 units at Nakajima and 581 at Hiro, Aichi Prefecture. Alright, so, move the light back. There we go. Nice top opening box. Wow, look at that. I'm impressed. Look at that. Remember, this was 1976. Nice glossy booklet style. It's even got the holes where you can put it in like a ring binder. Okay, we'll go backwards this time, and we'll take a look here and see. This is bright silver. I mean, this is a perfect painting guide. Well now, this will be a challenge if you don't read Japanese. It looks like we've got 10 steps here, and no instructions in English. Everything's in Japanese. So there'll be a bit of hieroglyphic reconstruction here. But let's take a look and see. Start with the cockpit, engines, putting in the cockpit, putting the fuselage together, putting the wings on, putting the engines on, putting the canopy with the guns on, landing gear, torpedoes, bombs, and I think this is just a parts inventory. So it's actually 9 steps. Excuse me, the kit itself is kind of musty. It's been in somebody's basement or their attic or whatever for however long. So yeah, so then 9 steps. Pretty straightforward stuff though, shouldn't be too bad. And then we move to the back, and again, beautiful color scheme. I'm starting to feel badly that I opened this up at all. But I'm a builder, not a collector, so there you go. Alright, so there's the instructions. Very impressive color-wise, and even though there's no English, there doesn't really need to be, I don't think. I'm not sure what this is for. It looks like some kind of order card, or maybe it's for ordering replacement parts. I'll have to get one of my Japanese friends to translate that for me. Okay, so as far as outer packaging goes, nice sturdy box. stapled here on each corner. Top opener. There was no external shipping because I got it at my local hobby store. So we'll take a look here and see. Open her up. Okay, so this is bag number 1. That's the canopy clear piece. And the sprues and parts, they aren't flat gray. They're kind of like a silvery gray. So that's kind of interesting. And we've got the engine parts. Engine parts, cockpit floor, cockpit. Looks like landing gear struts. Hook for the aircraft carrier. I'm not seeing any flash. And all these parts are attached. The fuselage and upper wings. And lower wings. Nice detail. Geez, if I see a Mania kit again, I'm grabbing it. Alright, so we got that and that. And we've got some black parts here. Looks like for the engine. Even though we had 2 radials in the other one, we've got another one here in black. So again, it looks like this is probably, you could paint it, but you could also just build it and put it on the shelf. All right, now I mentioned 2 bags. It's 2 bags because there's 2 aircraft. Cool. Oh, these decals sure look like they've seen better days. You can't really tell with this camera, but they are gnarly. So I may have to find myself, well, maybe like the Mosquito. They might still work, just not 100% fabulous. But hey, for 10 bucks, what the heck. Okay, I'm not going to open this up because it's exactly the same as the other one, except this one is molded just in plain gray. So if you did build the 2 of them and not paint them, then you could put them side by side on the shelf, and they'd be the same, but they look different, which is kind of cool. And again, there's no parts broken off, no parts bent. Everything looks good. A little blistering here where it's kind of rubbed up against the, but as I said, nothing broken. So we'll slide these back in. goes back in there. That goes there. That goes there. That goes back there. All right. So, I'm thinking that this kit was made just for the Japanese market. There's nothing in English, except for, you know, the outer box stuff and a bit of the history. So, as far as the outer box packaging is concerned, everything was fine. 2 points for that. It's a small kit with parts for 2 aircraft, and all of the parts for each aircraft are in a separate bag. So we get a 2 for that. Nothing broken off, nothing bent. And we move on to the parts. As I say, parts for 2 kits, different colors even. So that's going to be a full 3 with quarter point bonus for the 2 kits. Last, we come to the instructions. While there's no English, except for what I read off the side of the box, you get the same thing here. The instructions are very straightforward. It's not a complicated kit, so you should be able to have no problems whatsoever deciphering that. So I'm not going to ding them for that. I mean, for the time to have these glossy, look, and there's a signature here. I don't know if you can see it. Better light. There you can see the signature down there. So that means someone hand painted this, hand drew it, and hand colored it. So a lot went into it. So, I'm going to have to take a quarter point off for the decals. So, you know, it's an old kit and so on and so forth, but you know, it looks like they're pretty close to not usable. So, but only a quarter point ding, which leaves us with a 10. So I'm going to, this will be my next project. And I hope everybody will join me as I give progress updates and show the build as it goes along. Well, thanks for joining me again. Thanks for my subscribers, really appreciate it. We're well over 50 now, might even be up to the 60 mark. And up to 56 now, so thank you all very much. And I know everyone's time is valuable, and I appreciate you spending some of it with me. So I'll keep hunting for that little piece, or try and get another one, so that I can continue with the Spitfire build. But I think this will be the next one you see. It looks fabulous, and like I said, boy, if I ever see a Mania kit again, I'm going to snap it up. So thanks again to everyone, and happy modeling, and feel free to leave a comment. Again, if there's anybody who has any ideas about the audio, please feel free to leave a comment. And I also welcome comments, suggestions, and input regarding the reviews and the builds. In addition, if there's any particular kit anybody would like to see, you see me in review, again, put it down in the comments section. I'll see what I can do. If I don't already have it, I'll see what I can do to procure it, and be happy to review it. I've got some more coming down the pipe. I've got a Messerschmitt coming from ICM that includes the ground crew. That's a 148, and we've got some nice little 176 and 172s coming as well. So thanks again, and I hope everybody has a safe and happy evening.